it out. Let me know your thoughts.
I see the mix on from 3 days ago.
Yeah, literally, I DJ for 7 hours last weekend. It was insane. You know, my ADHD be on a million. Sometimes I just be like, let me just go into it, and I'll be into it. So I'll be DJing today, I think. Oh, definitely this weekend. For some folks, because Frankie Beverly passed, who's from Philly, from
Yeah,
downtown, right where,
yeah.
and I grew up.
That's a
With,
big loss, man.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
concerned. I'm very concerned about black artistry and where it's going. Um, we were hanging on by a thread with the legends that we still have, and they're starting to get to that age group where it's more and more of them going, and I'm concerned about what's left. Um, I guess in place of them in the future. Because we don't really have that. Frankie Beverly and Maze, like they are black, like the black American experience. Like, you know what I mean? Like, um, and I'm concerned that there's less of that type of art being made. And
And not to interrupt you, but what you're saying is so true. I watched one of his Soul Train episodes, which was early in Frankie's career last night. Me and my sister watched it. And I saw him in concert years ago with her.
mhm.
She took me. We wore our white linen. We was outside. Okay. We was outside at the Dell downtown. Um, and he was covering a Marvin Gaye song.
Mhm.
And he was paying homage to Marvin Gaye. It's like very moving. And he even did like, some of the little like vocal riffs that Marvin Gaye did. And then afterward, right, the host of the show, I forget his name. What was it? Don Cornelius.
Yeah, he was the original one.
He was the original, no, but it was the second guy after him, the dark skin.
Oh, I know what you talk. I know you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I forget him, but he
Yeah.
interviewed him. He's a little monotone, right? But he interviewed him.
Hmm.
Um, and he was talking about like this was after Marvin Gaye had passed. And he said Marvin Gaye was my mentor. He gave us, he signed us and like helped us get signed and help us produce our first album. And for me to sing his song right now means a lot. And it's just like legends mentored legends. But like to your point, even further, like who are our legends mentoring?
Right.
And like, where is it going? And in my research about federal government arts, there is a woman, I gotta find it. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
written about Black culture and the commodification of Black culture in the early 20th century
Hmm.
that has caused an external control and a decline of like the quality of Black culture over time. And we're now in just a super commercialized like version
Yeah.
of like Black culture. And that's not like, and I'm thinking, is it possible in these reparative, right, systems
Right.
to create a Black culture that has not yet been commodified? I think that's the gatekeeping that we talk about,
Hmm.
but is gatekeeping the way to do it, or is there another way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Where we ain't got to keep it secret. I mean, I'm not saying we got to do the work of like that, but there is
Hmm.
some kind of protectiveness, and then there's just a way we say, no, you can't touch that. No,
Hmm.
that's not for sale. No, the electric slide is not for sale. Like,
Yeah.
no, XYZ is not for sale. Right. We just do it and we love it.
Hmm.
No. I didn't mean to that just interrupt you, but you mentioned that and I was just watching that last night and I was like, wow, what's next? I don't know. And
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of first, like, it really, that thought first hit me. Questlove did a documentary about some concert series that they did in the 70s. I think it was in Harlem. I forget the name of it, but it was a really cool documentary.
The
And,
Cotton Club.
let me see. It was really good, man. Um,
Huh.
Summer of Soul. Um, Yeah, it's called Summer of Soul or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised.
Yes,
Really
yes,
cool
yes. I've seen
documentary.
it
Yeah.
times.
And I was thinking, they had all the heavy hitters of that time. And I was thinking about how they came because they wanted to and because it was important to them to be with black people, to be in front of black people, to for black people to come out and have a good time without getting paid, $1 million or however much. And your value is your value. So, like, obviously people deserve to get paid what their value is. But I was just thinking in general about how that ask I don't think is realistic in 2024. I don't think you can get many of the black artists, biggest black artists of the last 20 years on one stage for a park event. Um, I just don't really see that, and it's more than just the money, it's the idea of like this music belongs to us and I want to share it with us. I don't really think that attitude is as prevalent as it once was. I don't think the attitude of wanting to mentor and wanting to create and guide the next group of the next iteration, the next reincarnation of that sound is an interest for a lot of people anymore. And that's concerning to me.
You know, I wrote down, this is crazy, but I wrote down a title of something. Stuff be coming to me like that. Cover bands and local artists sustain non-commercial black music. I think of some of my favorite go-go bands in DC, right?
Hmm.
Or there are cover bands in Jacksonville that like, I love to see when I'm home.
Hmm.
Um, and they're like doing it. They are doing it. They're still trying to get money, from local venues and stuff. It's still a business. But you're right, they're covering music that the world has not yet seen as valuable. And let me tell you, I remember when Baltimore club music was underground. They used to call it Philly party music when I was growing up, or Jersey
Hmm.
club music. That was like when it was regional. Like
Yeah.
Baltimore had a particular sound,
Hmm.
right? Then Philly had a particular sound as being the predominant financial, like, and population center of the mid-Atlantic. Then Jersey had a sound, right? And like
Detroit
northern New York was
techno
like
and Detroit house had a
that
sound.
right, and that's
Yeah.
iterations of that then emerged in Baltimore in like the late
Hmm.
80s, right, early 2000s. And there actually is an artist I found. He's a DJ, a Baltimore club DJ that is not originally from Baltimore. He moved there. I almost want to say he moved there from Detroit, funny enough. But then they have like some kind of Baltimore club DJ competition every year, and he won that in 2018 and or won it for a couple years in a row, and then has since become like a great. But his time of becoming a great is so short because our desire for like GOAT status is so like arid, right? And Frankie Beverly's been performing for 50 years. Patti LaBelle has been performing for 7 decades. Celia Cruz has been performing almost like 7, 8 decades.
Yeah.
A century of music.
Yeah.
So when I say a GOAT, that's a GOAT,
Yeah.
right? We talk about Marvin Gaye, even in his short lifetime, just the way his music has proliferated over time and the people he touched
Hmm.
in his lifetime, GOAT.
Hmm.
And I'm not, I definitely want to interview him. But it's something to think about how we've crunched GOAT status so small. I think also producing music is like quicker because of tech and because of things. People can do it
Yeah.
faster. More music is coming out. But I
Hmm.
just think of also like, I won't mention any names, but younger, very immature artists that have like 2 hits out and they're like, oh, GOAT. Like, can you even spell GOAT? You don't even look
Yeah.
like, please
Yeah.
stop. Right? Please stop. So
Yeah. It's that marketing war, I think, because everybody's trying to differentiate themselves and say, well, I might have only had this one thing, but look at me, look what I've done already. But greatness is sustained performance over an amount of time. So but nah, I agree 100%. I think that's like I think it's just people want to be remembered, and the pros and cons of internet music, the internet era. Obviously, more people can eat, but at the same time, more people get in, so it's a little diluted. So people are trying to figure out ways to like make themselves stand out. Because it's the same thing like with the genius term. We throw genius around way too loosely. Musical genius gets thrown around way too loosely. Prince
Yeah.
is a musical, like, these types of people that you don't meet often in any industry, they're musical geniuses. But I think it's just one of those things. It's like you said, it's like a the timeline has been drastically reduced for whatever reasons.
Right.
Um, yeah.
That's exactly right. Um, if you don't mind, Cam, I might take what we just said about music. Do you mind if I make it a Culture Keeper episode?
Heck yeah, man. Go ahead.